Hello everyone, Dr. Hallam here to review your curriculum design project. This is your key assessment for this course. Please keep in mind this is an individual project completely separate from your rigorous curriculum design project that you're doing as a group. So I know it's a lot going on at the same time, but please keep in mind this is completely separate. This is your individual assignment, and this is your scholarly paper that you will submit at the end of the course. There are checkpoints throughout, just like in your last course. So, learning objectives. I am not assigning you a learning theory, but there is an article that is part of this course called Theories of Learning and Curriculum Design, Key Positionalities and the Relationships. There are several learning theory models presented within that paper. Please select the one that you feel like you can maybe work with the best, or that you want to learn about the most as you work through this process. So just an overview of your learning objectives. You will create an outline, start on your reference page. That's where you will start out. You will not submit your outline as part of the paper, but this is going to help you get organized as you start in on the course. You will write an introduction and a literature review. The literature will technically go into, okay, what research is out there about this learning theory model, and then you will go and relate it from theory to practice in that third part. You will create a graphic organizer and include it in your paper as one page. Okay, this will be part of that theory to practice of here's what we are doing, here's the theory, here's how we implement it, here are the steps. So again, when we go into those directions, there'll be a lot more information about what is needed in that graphic organizer, and then your implementation reflection part of the paper. So that'll be sort of your conclusion for that. There are checkpoints throughout for extra credit. You will have to do a progress check 4 before submitting your overall key assessment. That is required. So keep that in mind. As I go into the directions for this assignment, bear with me for just a second. Again, and I will have these noted in here by the time I update this site, but it is a system level curriculum plan. So again, you're looking at this from a leadership perspective, like you did within that last course, of what do we need to do as a district in implementing this learning model? How do we turn theory into practice, and what are those steps? So the article I mentioned is linked right here. Please take time to familiarize yourself with the rubric. That is very important. I go through that rubric as I am grading those key assessments at the end. Please, if you do not have an APA 7th edition manual, please get one of those. Use the models that are within that manual as example papers, as exemplars of what things should look like as far as a reference page, a title page, things like that. In grading paper from the last course, that was probably the most errors took place with those APA format issues. So just get that manual, follow that to a T, and you should be fine without losing points for any of those formatting issues. There are, again, like I mentioned, those 4 self-checks, so keep those in mind. You can get bonus points for those. The completed curriculum design project comprises a title page, your introduction, your thesis statement, as in the last class, would be in bold, your literature review, theory to practice, the graphic organizer that you've created on how to bring this from theory to practice, an implementation reflection, and then your reference page. This is like a summative, again, graded assignment that's worth 32% of your overall grade. So this is a huge part of your grade. Now, while it says an outline is required, this is to organize your thinking. Please do not include the outline in the final paper that you do submit. I will add this video right here for you to reference. To be considered a level 4 within the rubric, you must use at least 12 highly credible, relevant sources for your paper. Again, reference page should be in APA format along with all of your references throughout. Keep in mind, Your references don't have to solely be quotations throughout as well. If you are noting something about one of the learning models that came from research, but you were putting it in your own words, you still should add that citation in the text and at the end on the reference page. Developing the outline is important in just organizing your thoughts. There's tips for writing your introduction. Again, please put your thesis statement in bold black print. There is a check for that, Sunday, February 4th. Writing your literature review. This should be 3 pages and clearly written in APA formatting for in-text citations and end-of-text references. Again, keep that in mind. It doesn't just need to be quotations that you reference throughout your paper. Anything that you are writing that comes from research, please go ahead and reference where that came from. Write theory to practice is that next section. So then you've reviewed all of the theory in your literature review. How do we actually turn that into classroom practices? It should include a rationale for any suggested changes that you're giving for future practice. Why is this important? Why should someone make the effort to learn about this and make those changes? And then design a graphic organizer. Illustrate that logical model. So required here, it should include procedures, interventions, goals or potential outcomes, resources essential to the implementation plan, timelines, and assessment of effectiveness. How will we know that this is working? You should develop that as part of your project so the reader can implement your plan action with little or no questions. This should be sort of like you scaffold for your students of breaking it down. This is what you're doing for anyone that's reading your paper. Here's how they would implement and turn this theory into practice within your guidelines. And then writing the implementation reflection. So discussing collaborative strategies to implement your plan. How will administration, families, colleagues, how would they be included in this? What are their roles and responsibilities? And your perspectives related to the reality of implementing your plan and how it'll incorporate the help of others. So that's sort of pulling it all together. Here's how we take that theory to practice. Here's how everyone works together to get there. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. This is due Tuesday, February 27th. In that key assessment assignment folder. Again, you will not be able to access that until you do that progress monitoring check number 4 that is required. Okay. If you have any questions throughout, let me know. But I will go ahead and post those learning theories on this site as well. Thank you.